A storm is brewing in the agriculture sector, and
Trump tariffs are no fun for farmers like me.
Yeah, in one word, it's uncertainty.
Contracts ripped apart overnight. Grain ships stalled at the docks. In just 1 year, 7 of America's closest agricultural partners walked away, choosing Canadian corn instead of U.S. supply.
The wait is finally over. Ontario-grown corn on the cob is now arriving at markets.
For American farmers, it wasn't just lost sales. It was bread missing from tables, livestock feed running dry, small towns watching their lifeline vanish. Crazy, right? And when you see who is on the list, you'll understand. This isn't just a market shift, it's a generational breaking point. Think about it, losing 7 trading partners in 1 year. That's not just bad luck, that's Trump-level customer service. The man could probably bankrupt a lemonade stand. But here's the kicker, you won't believe which countries turned their backs on America. Before we continue, click subscribe below. We don't sugarcoat, we don't protect politicians, we expose what others won't.
Despite some great-looking crops to start the year, corn and soybeans continue to see weaker prices as of...
Here's the deal. U.S. corn exports have collapsed. 7 countries, Egypt, South Korea, Vietnam, Saudi Arabia, Mexico, Japan, and even China have ditched U.S. corn for Canadian supply. Not because Canada's corn is magically better. Nope. It's because Canada offered something the U.S. under Trump couldn't.
I'm announcing today that the Canadian government will now match the United States by removing all of Canada's tariffs on U.S. goods, specifically covered under CUSMA. The situation we're in now is that Canada and the United States have reestablished free trade for the vast majority of our goods.
Instability, broken trust, contracts that don't stick. This is what happens when trade wars and midnight tweets become national policy. You lose the very partners who kept your farms alive. Stability and trust. 2 words you'll never hear in the same sentence as Donald Trump. But how did America fall from the world's top supplier to the country nobody wants to deal with?
Up there of the overtures and sort of trolling to Canada about being a part of the United States?
Well, I mean, the bottom line is not going to happen. We can be friends. There can be a few benefits, John. Friends with benefits, but not we're not going to commit all the way. Benefits of trade, benefits of, defense.
Right.
So basically, here's how we got here. Trump's tariffs were supposed to protect American farmers. Instead, they backfired.
Tariffs are having a real impact right here in the Treasure State, with farmers and ranchers feeling it firsthand. Food systems moving out of the country, prices on food and tools going up, and broken trade relations are just a handful of the issues.
Tariffs went up on Canada, Mexico, and China. Those countries fired back with tariffs on U.S. corn, soybeans, and meat. Suddenly, American farmers saw contracts shredded and shipments delayed.
Nobody wants to do business with us, whether it's Japan, Australia, Europe, Paraguay, anybody. They don't want to do business with us because they have no idea what's going to happen. It doesn't make any good business sense.
Crazy part is, 85% of the fertilizer U.S. farmers rely on comes from Canada. So while Trump was playing tariff games, costs for farmers skyrocketed. Farmers were hit from both sides, no buyers overseas, and higher bills at home. Only Trump could think he's protecting farmers while making their fertilizer more expensive. It's like saying you're saving a drowning man by throwing him a bag of bricks, and the farmers caught in the middle, their stories will break your heart.
Record harvest would be good news for farmers, but this year's record-breaking corn crop, it's actually creating a massive problem. The top issue, prices are already at 5-year lows.
In the Midwest, farmers like Samuel Ebenkamp are literally sitting on their corn, holding back product even while prices hover near 3-year lows, because they're scrambling to cover feed costs and desperately hoping for better deals to come. Meanwhile, in places like Ohio and Iowa, agribusiness leaders are signing massive new deals. In Iowa alone, Vietnamese buyers locked in nearly $800 million worth of grain, including 900,000 metric tons of corn and wheat, agreements that could change the game for local farmers. Same crop, different countries, totally different outcomes. Imagine explaining to your kid that the farm might go under because the president lost a Twitter fight with Canada. But if you think that's bad, wait until you see the cold, hard numbers. Let's talk numbers, because wow. U.S. corn exports to China dropped 78% in 2024. That's basically a market disappearing overnight. Overall, U.S. farm exports are facing tariffs on $190 billion worth of goods. That's massive! Meanwhile, Canada signed an $847 million annual deal with Egypt alone, locking the U.S. out for 5 years.
But they have been trending downward for a long period of time, and we're not going to have that. A lot of it's because of bad trade deals.
That's not just lost money, that's schools not funded, rural towns drying up, and farmers watching their legacy vanish. That's a lot of corn, right? And Trump still brags about being the best businessman. Buddy, even monopoly money lasts longer than his trade deals. But here's the twist. Canada didn't just sell corn, they sold something America couldn't.
The objectives of Canada's new government have been constant. First, to protect Canadian workers and their families. Second, to reinforce the competitiveness of Canadian businesses. And thirdly, to build the strongest economy in the G7.
Here's the part nobody saw coming. Canadian exporters didn't just offer corn, they offered tech, transparency, and trust. South Korean buyers can scan a QR code and see exactly which Saskatchewan field their shipment came from. Meanwhile, American suppliers are still stuck faxing paperwork like it's 1995. Outdated, embarrassing. Wait, what? Entire nations are switching because Canadian corn comes with blockchain verification, while US corn comes with nothing but political drama.
I just met non-liquid gold. You know where it was? Iowa. It's called corn. It's non-liquid. That's my take. You have more non-liquid gold. They said, what is that? I said, corn. They said, we love that idea. You know, that's a pretty cool thought, isn't it? That's a nickname in its own way, but we came up with a new couple of words for corn.
Think about it. Canada is giving farmers QR codes. Trump was giving them Sharpie maps of hurricanes. Absurd. And if you think that's ridiculous, just wait. The damage runs deeper than anyone imagined. Shocking, devastating. And this is where it gets wild. Trump promised farmers America first. Instead, his trade wars left them last in line. Egypt, South Korea, Vietnam, Saudi Arabia, Mexico, Japan, China, 7 crucial partners all chose Canada, not because of price, not because of quality, but because America became unpredictable. For Bill in Iowa, that means debt. For his daughter, it means maybe no future in farming. For Canada, it means billion-dollar contracts and global trust. That's the Trump effect. Promises made, promises broken. Honestly, the only thing Trump ever put first was himself, and maybe his golf courses. But here's the real question. If Trump can sink farming, what else is at risk?
Trade is super important. Decreased demand leads to farmers maybe needing more of those financial resources in a farm bill or somewhere else. So we want to be profitable with the market.
At the end of the day, this isn't just about corn, it's about family dinners, tortilla prices in Mexico, bread on Egyptian tables, fish farms in Vietnam. Canada is playing the long game, offering boring, steady reliability. And in farming, boring is good. Meanwhile, American farmers are paying for political theater they never asked for. 7 countries walked away. How many more will follow? Makes you think, right? Because if Trump can lose America's corn market to Canada, what's next? Losing Florida oranges to Iceland? And maybe, just maybe, the collapse of US farming as we know it. Drop your thoughts in the comments and hit subscribe for more hard-hitting deep dives like this.